Hey everybody, welcome. I'm here today with Josiah, another clinician here at Mayfield Counseling Centers. And today we're going to be talking about disclosing your sexual addiction.
It's time for your Monday Minute.
So, disclosing sexual addiction, I want to kind of give our viewers some understanding of what we mean by that. So, what do you mean by sexual addiction? What do you mean also by disclosing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is a lot of debate out there about whether or not a sexual addiction is a real addiction or not. It's not currently in the DSM-5. However, there can be a lot of times people's sexual behaviors do not fall in line with their own personal values. And so when that happens, it can become problematic for them or problematic for their intimate partner. And so sometimes a sexual addiction is a movement away from one's own values into problematic behavior.
So why do you think it's so important for us to disclose that problematic behavior?
Yeah, well, if the problematic sexual behavior is not falling in line with your own values, then there's going to be this dissonance internally and this inauthenticity about how you're living versus how you want to live, and also maybe the person that you're portraying to your partner. And so it's important to be able for relationships to grow, to be able to connect with yourself in an authentic way, as well as connect with your partner in an authentic way. And the first step in starting to work through these problematic sexual behavior or addiction is to just open up. You know, there's a lot of people deal with these types of things, and there's a lot of shame that people feel from it, but you're not alone in that.
I would think that if you were struggling with sexual addiction or problematic sexual behavior, it can be really frightening to open up to a partner about this side of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Problematic sexual behaviors and addiction is not something that's fun. It's not fun to talk about, and it's scary, but it's so crucial to begin that process of opening up and just being honest with yourself first and foremost, and then opening up to your loved one. Disclosure is one of the very first steps into that healing journey and that healing process.
So why do you believe that disclosing of this behavior should be one of the first steps? I think there'd be a lot of people out there that would prefer to wait until maybe you had a better handle on things, or maybe until you feel like you've eliminated the behavior. Why do you think it should be one of the first steps?
Yeah, that's a great question. Disclosing is the first step because it's in that act of opening yourself to being authentic and showing that authentic self to your partner, where the healing can start to come in. And the shame that holds you down doesn't necessarily have to keep you in that spot. So instead of shame tells us that if we open up about this part of ourselves, we are not going to be loved. We're not going to be wanted. We are not going to be welcomed in this space. So when we disclose sexual addiction and problematic sexual behavior, that gives us our partners a chance to meet us in that space, to meet us in that place where the shame says you're not going to be loved. And that gives them the chance to love you within that space and counteract what shame's been telling you. And if you look at things from a historical and scientific perspective, there's just countless and numerous examples of people trying to work through things on their own and then having some slip up. Maybe that goes public, and that's when the process of healing starts to happen.
Yeah.
And so if you can get out on that before anything really majorly happens or you lose your relationship, it can be really helpful to start that healing process kind of on your own terms, more than a problematic behavior coming to light and then you having to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. And I think that as therapists, when we work with people, especially with addiction or trying to change behavior from what they have been doing to something new, it is so essential that we reach out to people that we trust, that we're in relationship with, close relationship with, to kind of tell them where we're at and where we're trying to go, because we need the support, the accountability even. And I think something so intimate as sexual behavior with an intimate partner, that you, in a sense, owe them that disclosure. Because like you said, this could be total counterproductive to who you are, who you put out there to your partner. And they might be thinking you're someone that you're not. And they deserve to know the true, authentic, real person that you are, even with the messy. So yeah, I think some of the takeaways from this conversation today, if you're the person dealing with the sexual behavior and you want to move forward in disclosing that information, especially if it's an intimate partner, our encouragement to you is, hey, there's no better time than right now to go ahead and open up about this behavior to your partner, so that you can begin that healing journey and moving from what you currently do to what you hope to do.
Yep.
And hey, if you're the person who is receiving this information, a friend, a partner, our encouragement to you is to, one, allow yourself to feel. You are allowed to be disappointed or angry if that's, the emotions that come up. But also we encourage you to not heap shame upon your partner, not to attack them for the information that they're sharing with you. Recognize that this is a huge step of trust with you, and that they are letting you know because they want the authentic self to be revealed to you, but they also want to move forward in health and wholeness. Well, thank you so much, Josiah, for coming and talking about this topic, even though it can be very, very heavy. And thank you all for coming and listening to this week's Monday Minute. I hope you have a great rest of your week and I have a relaxing weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Monday, for our next Monday Minute.